So yeah, isn't this fun? It's Tuesday. Tuesday afternoon. Those gentle voices I hear. Now I'm on my way. The Moody Blues were outstanding. They really were. And I thank God that God has mercy. We forget that. We forget that God has mercy and gives us mercy. We take it for granted. Even as Christians, we can be entitled. We can be entitled. We think we should have everything our way and the way we want it, and our cake too. Well, guess what? The Bible says that we're not righteous. There's none righteous. The only way we can become righteous is when Jesus Christ, we trust him as Lord and Savior, it's imputed. Ask me to define that word, I cannot. But Christ does something when we believe. We're washed in the blood of the Lamb. All our sins, God puts as far as the east from the west. Now, this is the dichotomy that's a trip. God puts all that out. But me? Wow. It's all in me. Can anybody let me know if I can be heard? We're doing a test on sound here, and I don't know if it's transmitting. It's very strange. Anybody? Can anybody hear? Please write so in the comments. Is my sound on? No sound? Yes sound? Anything? Wow, nobody hears me. Maybe if I put a toilet seat on my head. Do we have anything going on? There we go. Thank you, Anon. I appreciate that. Sometimes between the phone or YouTube, it does some sort of a glitch. And I'm going on about a subject and everybody's saying, we can't hear you. Kind of sucks. I bought this stuff at Dollar Tree. I have to say, this stuff is good. You may think this is girly stuff. This is very masculine. This is a good smell. It's even a bonus size, man. I like this. I as a guy, like to smell good. I notice if you buy polyester mixed shirts and you sweat, it offends even me, and I do not like to do stunk or stank. I don't like it. I like to smell good. And yeah, sometimes this is expensive, but this is good. It is for girls, but this has a nice smell. This is like $8. Then I went to a store called Roses. This stuff's pretty good. Warm vanilla. It has a nice smell to it. I mean, I don't like the smell of people in general, but sprays and perfume, well, they're a game changer, man. Nobody wants to smell BO and butt cheeks and bad dragon breath. But yeah, I thank God for his mercy. If I didn't have his mercy, if we didn't have his mercy, well, you think about it. If God was not merciful, this world would have been ended a long time ago. We would have destroyed each other. Nobody'd have the Holy Spirit, and people would not have the collective wherewithal to make it work. I'm blown away when people say that people are basically good. No, they're not. You notice you have to teach a child to be good, not how to be bad. You never have to teach somebody how to invent evil. I mean, let that soak in. No one has to teach a child how to be bad. It is inherent in us. Hi, Hesse, how are you? We are great at inventing new ways to be bad. Michael Jackson, I'm bad, I'm bad. It's in us. The rub comes is that it's natural as all get out. Somebody says, don't do something. What do? Go do it. This cranberry and cherry juice, a little sweet and sour, man. It makes my lips pucker up. It's good. It's probably, what are those things called? Antioxidants. It's probably antioxidanting everything in me. I had an antioxidant the other day. I walked into a lady. Oh, no, I did not. I'm all right, Hesse. Good to see you. People have to think about what they're doing. Of course, some people do think about what they're doing and they know what they're doing. And the problem is when certain actions of certain others connect with me, it can send Michael into a tailspin. Another biplane bites the dust. Remember years ago, I was in a church in Duluth, Minnesota. I was young and a teen girl came up. She always talked to me and she had on a skimpy half shirt and she came up right behind this arm, pressed her developing breast right into me and started jumping up and down. And I can feel her nipple rubbing the back of my arm. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I kind of pulled away going, I told one of the ladies, I said, can you let her know? She got to be careful. Most men won't do that. Most men, I mean, we're pigs. But you got to for your own sake. You got to. Women have done that. I was at a clinic. Colorado. What did I do there? I had some blood drawn for something. And the nurse helped me, was very attractive. She had a Star of David around her neck, and that prompted me to say, are you Jewish? She goes, yes, I am. I said, that's awesome. And she lit up when she saw I was not hostile to her. I'm sitting on a chair with one of those built-in, like those old school desks, either right-handed or left-handed. Have my hand and she pulls it up, right? My hand is balled up and she pulls it right in between her breasts. Now, folks, that was on purpose. That was on purpose. I mean, I really should have let my fingers start doing some, but I didn't. I've seen things. Yeah, women know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Anything involving tits is arousing to me. I mean, going braless. And some women are unaware of the fact that we men, we got a radar in us. It's always going. Always. And you can be going on innocently about your day, and women just do things. I was working at a truck dealership years ago. I was asked to go upstairs and help this woman move some file cabinets. Her name was Kelly. She had long hair. She had broad shoulders. She had nice, stand at attention kahunas. She'd wear the tightest sweaters. Those nipples were just intense. I mean, intense. And I get upstairs and I'm like, you know what? This woman is nothing but a damn distraction. I was married at the time and I was not in a good marriage, but I did not let on to anybody that except one close friend. Kelly would prance around in those tight tops, and she loved the fact she was at a dealership where it was mostly men, go through the mechanic shop and get everybody in a tailspin. And she's looking at me going, you know, Phil started coming on to me. I said, Phil, the foreman? Yeah. He goes, he's always looking at my tits. I'm like, I almost wanted to say, you're so stupid. You know what you're doing. You accent it, you put it out there, and then you're standing here to me, looking right at me with your nipples poking out, telling me this. I wasn't bold with her like I am now, but if I ever get that, see, you can't do that in the workplace. I'm human. I want to say, Kelly, those are nice, and you know what you're doing, and you're tripping people up, including me, so stop. Let's move the file cabinets. I don't got time for this shit. You're married. I'm married. I can't even entertain this. Hello, Anne. I'm all right. Hello, Frosty. Frosty the dude. Cinnabon. Anybody ever go to Cinnabon? I've never been there. I can't eat wheat, so I don't buy pastries or any of that. Yes, the holidays are coming up, folks. If you want to score points with your family, make sure and buy fruitcake, Chia Pets, and clappers. Clap on, clap off. Were they, Ann? I never had them. You know you're having a hard time when you go trick-or-treating on Friday and you're selling the candy at the flea market on Saturday. Oh, boy. I remember when I was in Prescott High School as a high school student, the high schoolers would go trick-or-treating and get bags of candy. I used to tease them. I said, man, trick-or-treating's for little kids. You guys are a bunch of damn robbers. No, they give us stuff, man. Their mouth water standing in line, you know, and they got all them smells going. Cinnamon swirl rolls always taste better in the USA. You know, I used to like those as a kid. Anybody remember? And do you remember when they used to call it coffee cake? They don't call it that anymore. It's called coffee cake. I remember as a kid, that's all it was called, coffee cake. You know what? This banana is twisted. It always makes me open it from the butt end. Every one of these, this is a bad bunch. Then you get mashed banana all over your thumb. Anybody ever been to those Japanese restaurants where they cook the food right in front of you and chop it up and do a little show? You're seated around the grill. That's pretty fun. I never liked pretzels. Anybody like pretzels? I was not a thrill pretzel guy. They were bland. You know what else is bad? Are you really, Frosty? Good for you. What are you going to be doing there? Just visiting? I envy you, man. Japan is just flat out cool. I stayed a night there in 2018 at the Noko Narita Hotel. That was an awesome night. I actually, as a grown man, started bawling in that hotel because I was so happy to be out of Denver. I'd been dealing with an old couple. He had passed away. She was absolutely cantankerous and difficult. Then the battle with my ex. I'm divorced, and the crap that she continued to do, plus my job being in traffic, dealing with students all day, and I needed a break. I went to the Philippines to see Gloria, and the plane was late leaving Denver. I get into the terminal in Japan, and so I'm going down the escalator. I see the big digital sign. I see the flight for the Philippines. I'm like, 5 o'clock. Oh, I wonder if they held it. Then it disappears. I'm like, ugh. Get to the bottom of the escalator. There's a agent for United Airlines, Japanese woman. She goes, hello, your name? I said, Michael Nelson. She says, oh, yes, we're sorry. You've missed your connecting flight to Manila. We have booked you a hotel in the Noko Narita, and you will take a flight out of Japan Airlines tomorrow at 9:30. No cost to you. You get buffet, dinner tonight, and breakfast tomorrow. I'm like, oh, yeah, I get to stay in Japan. I was so stoked. Nice hotel. I ended up eating dinner in the dining room, and man, was that food good. And I talked to 2 guys from the U.S. I think one was from Kentucky, the other one, I think, Missouri. They were both going over there to meet their Filipina love that they had met online. Then there were 2 Filipina gals from Calgary. We were all on that same wretched flight from Denver. And we were talking about the flight. They said, man, did you notice it was an icebox? I said, man, that flight was a freezer all the way across the Pacific. They had the AC on high, and I mean, you're just sitting there for 12 hours. And I got up and walked to the back because once the seatbelt sign goes off, international is pretty cool. You can get up and hang out at the back. There's a stainless steel counter, and a bunch of us would hang out. Women would do stretches, and I meet people. And this woman from Pennsylvania, I think, she got selected for Make-A-Wish. And she was taking her daughter to see anime and stuff in Japan. Her daughter had a terminal thing, and she got selected. I said, that is really cool. I meet some of the coolest people on international flights. I always try to have fun flying. Domestic is not as cool. It's like riding the city bus. It sucks. Gosh, it sucks. Sit next to people, you're just like, good morning, Sir Jacob. Excursion activity. I love my fam. You got family over there? That's awesome, Frosty. I envy you. No, I never brought all that. And I tell you what, I'm going to get smart because them little U-shaped funky pillows, I learned what they're for. They help you. Have you noticed, Frosty, have you noticed on them flights overseas, the airline chair, the back goes up and the headrest goes like this. It's almost pushing you like this. It's not one you can lean back and actually, because I've noticed with me, I don't know what it is, but if I'm at work and I sit on one of the plastic school chairs and I slink all the way down and put the base of my skull on the edge of that, I can get knocked out in a couple minutes. I mean, I'm gone. You can't do that on a freaking airplane seat. They're stupid. They're poor design. You can put it back. It don't matter. You're like this. And I'm like, man, they do not want you to sleep on these things. And then you got those people that not only they fall asleep, but then they're snoring and they're big and you can't get out when you got to go potty and you're stuck. Because I always thought window seat. I'm learning aisle seat every time, buddy. You want to be able to get out. Being trapped sucks. And people can get around me easier than I can them. But yeah, they'll give you that little in-flight pillow. Man, the thing's the size of a damn marshmallow. It doesn't do any good. But I stole the blanket and the pillow of the middle seat on a 3-seat row. I had window and I had a Chinese lady on a flight to Hong Kong. And I said, do you want this? She goes, oh, no, I'm good. So I pulled it. I stuffed it between the window and the wall of the plane, and I was able to get semi-comfortable, and I kicked my feet across to the center seat. I'm like, man, I'm almost got first class over here. I'm just laying like this. I didn't even pay for that extra seat, and I get it the whole way there. Cheshire cat. Still couldn't sleep. It's funny. You just lay there, and you just kind of rest. Then you open the blind that much because everybody likes it dark in the plane. They're all sleeping. I'm wide awake and they're all to reset their body clocks to Hong Kong. And you're sitting there and you look out. Yep, there's the Pacific. Hour later, yep, there's the Pacific. 3 hours later, yep, there's the Pacific. 8 hours later, yep, there it is. That ocean is huge, folks. Huge. Can you imagine people sailing across that and sailing ships and stuff back in the day? I don't have disability, dude. I work for a living. I go to work today. I'm just up at the butt crack of dawn to do entertaining videos for you. You live in Mumbai? Really? You know what? I was in Macau, Frosty. Macau was colonized by the Portuguese. You can see the architecture that they left behind in Macau. It's very cool. Hey, Spider, how are you? Dude, I'm employed. I'm a homeowner. This is my house. I work on the weekends and I work Monday through Friday warehouse. That is good. Welcome, Spider. But flying is awesome. Some people are scared of it. The only time I'm going to register a pulse of concern is when the pilot comes on and says, we have a problem. We've blown an engine and we're 36,000 feet over the Pacific, and I'm going to go, that's just great, because the chance of survival. But you can use your seat cushion as a flotation device. Yeah, that'll help. So I'm hurtling at 600 miles an hour towards the drink. And this is what'll happen. I'll be the only survivor, right? The plane will blow to pieces. I'll pop up, have my cushion going, oh yeah! And all the sharks are circling going, snack time, buddies! Oh, sheesh. That would suck. Can you imagine you're dropped in the water and you got your seat cushion, you're holding on to it. You can't see. When you're out in the ocean, you're not going to see this clear water. You're not going to see. The ocean's so deep over there. And you just hope to God the sharks aren't anywhere near you. Then the other reality hits you and like, yeah, can anybody even see me down here? In this big, vast sea? Wouldn't that be just a movie? You see this big ship and this powerboat launches down. Is that you, Pacific? Yeah, in the Pacific. Can you imagine doing that? Get rescued. That'd be a trip. But they have something called survivor's guilt, where there's been bad tragedies and somebody survived and they went into their own personal tailspin because all these people right next to them had died. Pretty sobering, man. I read about the Indianapolis, the USS Indianapolis. That is a very hard to read book. The troops that went over there, they just dropped off the components for Little Boy, the bomb that was going to be dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and had hit the island of Tinian. And then they went on, and the captain of that ship had asked for an escort. He was denied. And in the night, he was torpedoed, and it was a bloody, awful mess. The men that survived the sinking were then attacked by sharks. The captain was blamed, and the Navy blamed him. How can you blame him? He didn't do anything wrong. He had lights out. You couldn't even light a cigarette on deck. That was instant bust. Those ships back in the day, they had lights out. They had the portholes painted over gray. No lights were to be seen on the ship. Oh, I know. Frosty, you're right. You're 8 years old, Spider. Well, happy birthday, buddy. Frosty, my grandpa, my mother's dad, the one who adopted me, he was a merchant marine sailor. He sailed on what he called the Liberty ships. I don't think any of those are even left. He has stories of them hauling tanks and napalm to Vietnam. Hauling napalm on a ship made everybody on board nervous as heck. I was never on a Liberty ship, Frosty, but I've been on a couple of American, USS Bowler, the David R. Ray in Seattle, toured it. They have 16-inch or 9-inch guns on those dang things. I toured the USS Alabama, and the turrets that the guns were mounted on went through into the next deck. Big, big pieces of machinery, those turrets and guns. I even went in where the guys would sit in there and spool the wheel and turn the whole thing around and raise up the gun. And they sat on a dang metal tractor seat mounted to a post. I cannot imagine the noise of firing something that incredible. I bet you half of those people had no hearing. Lady told me that the Alabama's in danger. Sitting in the bay, and it's a lot of silt. She said they got a leak and they have to pump. But she said it really needs to be put in dry dock. She said it's not easy. She said you have to dredge the silt out. It's been sitting here so long, it's pretty much mucked to the bottom. Like, wow. Impressive ship, though. Very impressive. I went on a little submarine that was over there. It was on land. They had a hangar with military vehicles and birds and stuff. Cool stuff, man. Who's Ava Riza? Interesting, Sir Jacob. Yeah, Mr. Doodle, I'm aware that there's people that have made channels about me. Somebody on Twitter. No, I don't even pay attention to Twitter. Is it a woman? Is it a dude? What is it? I don't even know who she is. Probably Femi. Yeah, I think you're right. Look at this. Make sure I don't upload any nude photos here. So, yesterday on my lunch break, I visited the lives for a minute. Anybody recognize this dude? Dum, 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 dum. St. Mikey's Land, God bless his soul. Belgium is the best place to look at for whatever reason. Yes. Yeah. He believes in HU meditation. He actually brought down a curse on me. I left a comment. He actually has videos where he's talking. I can heal. I control the weather. And I wrote, no, you can't. Only God can. You are forever cursed. I said, not by you, dude. I said, you have no control over anything. Nothing. He went back and forth. I wasn't even rude to him. And I just said, dude, you're delusional. I'm done with you. Done. I don't know who this guy is. I don't even know what he was really talking about. He is crazy. Imagine his water bill, man. I'm telling you. Then there was this dude. This guy had disco lights in the bedroom or in his home. He was happy and peppy, wearing a pink ski hat. Look at that, huh? I mean, you got everybody on there. And I'm not making fun of this guy because I don't know him, but I literally cross-dress. Not really. Sort of, but not totally. Yeah, I've got a tank top, camisole, whatever you want to call it, on under this. I just like it. It's comfortable. But the point is, for Ferox, I have more content than a lot of these people on YouTube. The ones that are saying nasty things about me, that's all they have to say. They don't listen to the channel. They deny God. They deny Scripture. This channel has deep content, and we live in a society that pursues mental trash. So, I'm honest about my struggle with sin, myself, humanity, my past, my abusive upbringing, being abused. The cross-dress is instant label. That's right. And I'm not a cross-dresser by true definition. A cross-dresser is one who wears all women's clothes all the time. That's not me. On the internet of love, yep. What is this? Can't even see it. Like art, and I cannot lie. I have no other alibi. On the freeway of love, on the internet of love. It's funny, when you're comfortable with yourself, some people, they can't deal with it. They can't. I don't believe that my videos are mental trash. Maybe I'm delusional. I don't know. Somebody called me a delusional clown. I said, that's funny. I talk about more fact than any of these others I mentioned. When you got some little youngster attacking me because he's enjoys taking it up the buns, dressing like a underage schoolgirl to get grown men to give him free rocket rides up the anus. You think I'm going to take a guy like that seriously? You think I'm going to take that? And people say, oh, you're homophobe. I'm not a homophobe, but you're a sick little freaking puppy. You're going to dress like a little girl so that you can appeal to men that are pedos to get your jollies. What the hell does that say about you, little man? Something ain't working upstairs. I mean, I have some kinky desires, but not that. Nobody going to put their shaft up my buns, and I'm not putting my shaft up nobody's buns, male or female. My hot dog does not belong in a bun. Okay? It belongs in a taco. A woman. Spicy taco. Latina taco. We got European taco. We got Asian tacos. And we got Latina tacos. And they're good. Real good. Where's the chat? It ceased. I like being able to be honest. I like being able to be honest about things. We live in a society that is fake and plastic, or rude and cynical. Gross. Yeah, well, I've had a lot of kinky desires, but ain't no sex with a man. Not on my bucket list. Why would you want to get poop all over your penis? Why would you want to do that? Stinky, dirty, nasty, gross. I mean, that's just disgusting. What is the thrill there? Some guys like to brag about having sex with a woman during her menstruation. Another gross. I mean, how twisted do people got to be to achieve an orgasm? Well, Ferox, I prefer women myself. And I was trying to be cute about referencing the vagina. Ooh, got a nice walnut in there. Look at that. That walnut almost looked like a vagina. Good morning, Damien, and welcome from the great state of Texas, the Lone Star State. I've been through there many times. Quite a few times to Amarillo on I-40. Been through Dallas, Houston. Texas is a long day's drive from one end to the other. I had no idea how big and busy Houston was till I was on the freeways. Came down from Oklahoma, got into Houston. It reminded me of the Los Angeles freeways down there. I was like, wow, this is just a traffic nightmare. Hello, Franny. Paul wants to move to Texas. If I was going to live in Texas, I think I'd like to have a lot of money and live on the west side where there's mountains, but yet it's desert. Not in El Paso, out from there. There's some beautiful places in western Texas. Rugged, desert, mountainy. You could play wah, 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 wah. You wear your cowboy boots and your chaps, your denim jacket and your Stetson. Open your front door and walk out there and stand there and give a Clint Eastwood stare. Or we could travel to Maine and visit Franny and Cheryl and have some Red Lobster. Not the restaurant Red Lobster, the real Red Lobster. Maine lobsters. Yeah, we have a warm-up this week, Franny. 70s this week, near 80 on Saturday, and then next week, Georgia's going to be down in the 50s for the high. So the cool-off is coming. Thank you, Dog Eat Dog. I love this. I had one of these when I lived in Hibbing, Minnesota. I used to wear it when I drove the bus. I call it the hockey hat because all the hockey teams would wear these things up there. I love it. It's kind of got that Swiss, Austrian, Alpen feel. I just need to find myself a cute Fraulein to hang out with. Used to call girls lassies in Switzerland. Pretty little lassie. I'm a guy, but I love the sound of music. One of my favorite musicals. The hills are alive with the sound of diesels. Wow! Good morning, Mr. Hinkle. He's saying it's cold in Indiana. Franny, I remember when Duluth would get to 25 below. And when you actually had a day where it was the low was 10 above, you could play the song, A Heat Wave. You get so used to that polar plunge, 10 degrees felt warm. I felt like I was sweating again. People don't believe me, but I know you know what I'm talking about. Ferox is laughing. You know, Ferox, it gets so cold in Minnesota. It's worse than a witch's tit in a brass bra. I mean, it's that cold up there. Jackman, Maine. Franny, what part of Maine are you in? East, west, north, or south? Now, I heard that, Ferox, Ohio. I got a few friends in Ohio. Two of my moderators are in this, they come in this chatter from Ohio. I got a friend, he doesn't engage on the channel, but he listens in. He still to this day calls me Pacific. He's from my former channel that I started back in 2011. Listen to my heart. Even me. I got my little metal space heater. I take the chill off of my bedroom. The furnace is running now, but from actually May all the way to literally just last week, this house temperature was at 80 and stayed there. How do you like Ohio, Ferox? I lived in Akron. Neeks! Come on, let's eat together. I'll feed you. We'll be all loving and sweet. We got to get that kind of food where we can chew it together and then our lips touch. That'd be fun. I've never done that. I want to do that. That's a bucket list desire. Southwest next to New Hampshire. All right. Well, yeah, now, shoot, you go into the hills and there's more noise there than there is in the city. Guns and diesels and four-wheelers. In the winter, it's snowmobiles. You ever seen those guys snowmobile out west and they like to go and flank the mountain? They'll literally do an arc up the side of a steep mountain. And that is dumb. They're making all that noise. They hit that snowpack and they get up there and it starts the whole mountain moving. Some of them have gotten caught. Avalanche! I don't care how manly you think you are. Leave some things alone. Don't see how close to the Kodiak grizzly you can get and take a picture. Dum-dum. Do not go up to a full bull moose with a rack and say, hey, Bullwinkle. Hey, dumbass. Neeks, I would kiss all over your face, and I'm not being a sexual pig. I would kiss all over your cheeks and your face and your forehead, too. You pretty woman. And yes, I have no problem kissing friends. None. I'm very touchy-feely. I've been alone so long. If I saw half of my female chatters, I'd be like, hug, hug, hug. I'm from SoCal too, Ferox, Torrance to be exact. From the greater Smelly metro area. Torrance was right at the base of Palos Verdes, where the rich people lived. One of the rich places. And we were not far from Redondo Beach. I remember we were getting close to Redondo Beach and they had this sign that would go up and down and it was plush. It was the plush, what was it? The Plush Pony and the Plush Horse Inn. I don't even think that's there anymore. But the Redondo Beach Pier had tilt-a-hurls and rides on it and all the eateries cooking scallops and clams and the smell of fish and creosote and salt air. Man, I was like a cat in an alley where they just threw out all the fish heads. When I was down at the pier, I was just tail in the air, loving the smells and the feel of the sea and the pier. That's called living a dream. That'd be awesome, Neeks. How about if you send me you? That'd be cool. Open a package that's vented and you jump out. Oh my gosh, I would be beside myself. How come Mike hasn't been on video? We're sorry. Mike's channel is temporarily on hold. Neeks gets it. She's laughing. We'd be like those pushing emojis. And we see each other and they go, and just stick together. I've heard of Hemet. Wow, Ferox, and you came out of that. Good for you. Good for you. Have you seen all the homelessness due to Democrat leadership in LA and San Francisco? It's horrible. It's thousands of people. Seattle too, all of that. Bringing in gutted out RVs and tents and shopping carts. I mean, it looks worse than a Philippine shanty town. Birds of a feather. Neeks, are we birds of a feather? Are we? I think we might be. I've told people that I know, if you want to soar with wings of eagles, stop strutting around with pigeons. Trash. Ooh, trash, trash. Eagles don't eat trash. You ever see an eagle swoop down at a bus stop in inner city, anywhere USA? Never. I love that song by ABBA. And I dream I'm an eagle. And I dream I can spread my wings, climbing high, like a bird in the sky. Oh my gosh, that is beautiful music. And they got an eagle flight video in the mountains showing that. People think ABBA was just some girls' band. They were phenomenal. I'm nothing special. In fact, I'm a bit of a bore. If I tell a joke, you probably heard it before. But I have a talent for wonderful things, 'cause everyone listens when I start to sing. I'm so grateful and proud. All I wish is to sing it out loud. So yeah. My voice isn't going to cut it. Can't sing like ABBA. Stick to my day job. But ABBA was phenomenal group. Phenomenal music. The music to Dancing Queen caught my attention very early on. That piano, just, man, was that good stuff. Chiquitita, you and I know. There was something in the air that night. The stars were bright. Fernando. Powerful stuff. Talent. They weren't singing about my neck, my back, my taco, and my crack. You know, music had a direction back then. ABBA was awesome, Damien. That's right, Franny. She's a moron. She was going to take on Trump over that, we're not doing boys and girls sports thing. ABBA was awesome, Ferox. Good stuff. You are the dancing queen. I want to see you dance, Sneaks, but I think if I saw you dancing slinky wear, I think I'd be beside myself. I would just lay there. I'd lean over a rock and go, I've been slayed by Queen Neeks. Take me. Do with me as you will. I'm yours. Let that long raven hair fall across my chest as I kiss you tenderly on the lips and insert my tongue gently in your mouth, and our tongues do a dance that nobody knows but only us. As we feel the wet moistness of each other and feel the passion in our hearts racing. Oh my gosh, I better stop. I'll be a Harlequin romance writer before the end of this thing. I love you, Neeks. Thanks for taking it in stride. You're barred from going to the high school? Are you serious? Why? Because you spoke out against it at the PTA? Harper Valley PTA. I love you too, Neeks. You're all original. And that accent of yours, you talk to me in that British accent, we're making love, I'm done. Stick a fork in it, I'm done. Did I reach you, Michael? Yes, you did. She puts her hands over her head and runs her fingers through her hair and sits on me. Oh! You know, somebody criticized my channel saying he flirts with his female fans. And Anybody offended by that? Y'all calling me a crossdresser, not you all, but you call me a crossdresser, say I'm gay in this, and I'm flirting with my female fans, and you're criticizing that. See, trolls are a special kind of retarded. They will criticize you no matter what. You don't have to have any, if they don't like you, they're just going to dish it out. It's like monkeys at the zoo, you know, they crap in their hand and fling it. That's it, man. You voiced your opinion, they booted you out. See, the Democrats are so open-minded about free speech. You have free speech unless you agree with the Democrat. That's how that works. I didn't know that was written in the Constitution. Neeks, you are beautiful, and I mean what I say. The passion between us would be real. And that's why God gives me distance between all these women, because he knows exactly what we'd be doing if we were close. Well, now she's a brick house. She's mighty, mighty, just letting it all hang out. She's a brick house. I love that song. Your love is like oxygen. That was a good song. I'm not in love. Ferox, I remember hearing that song play in the truck or the car when we go to the beach in California. What was it, 3cc? That was a good song. It was just simple, melodic. It's just a silly phase I'm going through. Oh, 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 oh. Just good music. Oh, yeah, Monday through Friday, baby. Everybody's working for the weekend, sister girl. Maybe you ought to come over for some tea. I'm not responsible for what happens to you if you come and adorn my home. You'll be safe, but I'm not responsible for any scintillating or any wonderful experiences as you have. I am not. You'll have to sign a waiver. Oh, I thought you were saying you owe you. Shoot, you and I could snack together. Would you do it live with me, Neeks? Oh my gosh. We'd get some viewership on that one. That long raven-haired gal sitting next to me with that British accent. And I would lean over and put my arms around her the whole video and say, mine. I'd be like the seagulls in Finding Nemo. Mine, 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 mine. I'm so bad. Can't you tell? I've been going through the desert on a horse with no name, and it felt too good to be out of the rain. I think it'd be awesome, Neeks. That's my dream. I was really hoping the channel would make money so I could not work full time and have a travel around and meet my fans and do lives around the world. But instead, people pay the toilet man, and they pay the shower jump, jump, jump man, and all these little TikTok queens that are all you got to do is have a girl show this much shoulder, and all the guys are going, "Wow, you're so hot, you're so talented." She's not talented, dude. You're stupid. Stupid. You're lusting, you're in heat, you're a simp. Let me count the ways that I can say you're a simp. Simply a simp. Wow. What's the question mark? R&R? Pull up a toilet and sit down. You won't see me with my toilet seat around my neck. You won't see me running the shower going, jump, jump, jump. You won't see me being a homeless man saying, give me money now. You got a phone and you're homeless and you're doing live streams. That, very resourceful. I am? What do you mean I am? I don't know what I am. People put labels on me all the time, but they won't stay on. Right, Neeks? How many times people try to put a label on me and they can't? They don't stick. They always fall off. There's no tags on me. He actually believes he's doing something. He's not handicapped. The guy is not special needs. Guy's a grown adult. He believes in HU meditation. He's got talking videos. I can heal. I control the weather. Oh, what you talking about, Willis? I wrote in the comments, I said, you cannot. Only God can. I wasn't mean. You are forever cursed. Oh, a guy on YouTube told me I'm forever cursed. It must be true. If it's on the internet, it must be true. I'm done. Washed up. Beached. Whale. Whale sounds. Have you ever heard them? Clicks and whines and beautiful. Beautiful. And the radar from submarines screws with them. Whales are awesome. I love whales. It's so sad to see them get beached. It's terrible. It's almost like they're committing suicide or something. I love whales. I want to see one. I want to be out there. I want to ride a blue whale. I'd love it if a blue whale gently came up, said, just looked at me. Get on, kid. Wee-haw, baby! 200 feet of sheer power. Jonah got to go on a whale ride. I'm jealous. He got a whale ride for 3 days. Of course, I don't think he was in first class. Something about gastric juices and kelp and seaweed was swirling around him. Yeah, Jess, that is amazing stuff. And no, they're not products of evolution. God made them that way. ELO has a song with whale sounds in it. The clicks are interesting. There's an African tribe that talks with clicks. Are you familiar with that, Neeks? They do stuff like they do these noises. That's how they communicate. It's very bizarre. I'm fascinated with the world around me, not the world system, but cultures, diversity, and differences. I wish I could enjoy visiting the Hinba tribe. The women are topless, which that is just first class grade A. And they don't use water to bathe, and they believe in smelling good and being clean. I want to know how they pull that off. I thank God every day for fresh running water. Man, nothing like working with a bunch of guys in a warehouse, and at the end of the day, you're ready to go because of what everybody else smells like. Yeah, pungent. The guy in the shower. And I watched yesterday on my lunch break, everybody was making WTF. What in the heck? What did somebody say? What in the hippie SHIT hingle dingle did I just stumble on? I'm like, I mean, they were all reacting. All of them. It was quite entertaining. Somebody said this guy has serious mental issues. Wow, they said the same exact thing to me on my channel. Amazing. I needed to see that. The troll said the same things on his channel they said on mine. I could be a mental health therapist. I really could. That's right, Neeks. Neeks, are you still in the house? If you leave me now, I'm going to have a meltdown. Ooh, baby, please don't go. Yes, I'm a voracious flirt. No women were harmed in the production of these videos. Women like pick-me-ups, and men do too. Send me forget-me-nots. Life is a song. Sometimes it sounds like this. Dun, 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 jump, jump. The toilet seat guy. One day he had cupcake frosting and sprinkles all smeared around the seat. And he bought a clear one too. And he yells at people with a beard. Don't tell me what to do. People have a problem with my channel, I'm going to send them over there. You think I'm bad? Go check this stuff out. Or the Uwu kids. Uwu, Uwu, Uwu. I'm glad I'm not you, Uwu. I don't hate on them, but why? Grown people. How much you want to bet those two would criticize the stuff out of me? Bet me. Bet me. You can tell that Democrat brain rot has infected a lot of people in America. Now that's funny. Stop calling me a pig. That's funny. Jesse. Stop calling me a pig. My favorite part of a Steve Urkel show was when he drove Laura to her something to do with school and she had no ride. Laura was a user. She was nasty to Steve. They're in a motel on the way back. Makes him sleep in the bathroom. Yells at him, tells him to go in there, and he goes and shuts the door all simpy. Okay. Then he suddenly comes out in Laura's pajamas, fruity cotooties, and the thunder's out there. And right when he comes out of the bathroom door, a bolt of lightning and thunder, and he goes, no! And finds his manhood. I will not sleep in the bathroom. And goes off on a tirade about her. And I'm like, Steve finally found his balls. Good job, Steve. That was classic. Yeah, I saw a woman on my break, my lunch break, laying there in a skimpy shirt. I mean, passed out. Why? It's just not advisable. Ice wallow comb. Hi, Ricky. Yeah, there's some weird stuff out there. Shoot, just look at YouTube and you'll know everything you need to know about psychology, Jess. I don't need a shrink, and people say I do. No, I don't. I'm smarter than a lot of these psychologists. I've worked with people. You start to see things. People think I'm mentally ill, but there's no way. There's no way. I couldn't do what I do if I was mentally ill. I'd love to do a TV show showcasing some of these channels. Then there's this guy. Triangle. HU meditation is saying words that are soothing. Playing sounds are soothing. So he's got the water running. He's holding these little waves. Jump, jump, jump. He's got some little dingleberry hanging off of his triangle. This is how this guy becomes one with the universe. It's almost like transcendental meditation. That was real big in the 60s. Did you know that John Denver and the Beach Boys were all part of that mess? Most people don't know that. John Denver talks about being born again into transcendental meditation through the song Rocky Mountain High. Read the lyrics if you doubt me. In the 60s, a lot of those rock and roll guys, 60s, 70s, were in some weird stuff. Not just psychedelic drugs, but psychedelic religious and spiritual views. Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys was about TM. Alan Parsons, they were out there, way out there. I mean, they were all into some weird stuff back in the day. This is my playground. You're not ill, just navigating your existence. That's right. Thank you, Princess Brandy Candy. Now you see Brandy, she's a fine girl. What a good wife she would be. My voice is horrible on that. I can't do the song justice. You know, Jess, now there's something. But also, for the crap that I get dished at me on the internet, they don't do that in public. And if I go to the flea market just wearing this, which I do, nobody says anything. Oh, I'll get a stare here and there. But not openly hostile. You can still be an American and have your freedom of expression. I think it's how you carry yourself. I'm not walking around going, hello. I don't do that. I have no interest in the Bud Light, soy boy thing. I just like style. Women got some good style. Why can't I combine macho with feminine? There's nothing wrong with that. I'm sure my pastor, my son, and others totally disagree with me. That's fine. But it's called free will. If you're ashamed, then don't hang out with me. It's simple. The problem is I spent my life trying to please a mother I could never please. Domineering, abusive, put down. I was bullied in school. I liked that song. It was geared for children, but I liked that song. I wish that I could be like the cool kids, because all of the cool kids, they seem to fit in. That song has so much truth to it, except it misses one thing: God. The world is not our friend. And what the world thinks is popular is going to hell. Don't believe me? Check it out. Narrow is the road to eternal life. Few there be that travel on that road. Broad is the road that leads to destruction. Oh, let's get behind this artist and this and this and everybody. One big happy family. I mean, look at the world around us. Mike, did you see that movie? What movie? Mike, you didn't see that movie? Where are you living? Under a rock? Yep. Mike. Dude, I don't pay attention to the circuit, okay? I'm on my own circuit. I'm hardwired way differently than you all are. If you're not up on the latest celeb buzz, they look at you like you're strange. When you're strange, people remember your name. When you're strange, when you're strange. Women seem wicked. La da 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 da. Love the music to that. Jim Morrison was very strange, by the way, and he was troubled. He had a dark side, but his music was legendary. He did have talent, but he was a lost soul. And I'm not bragging about that. That's very sad. Most of the rock and roll people, you're not going to see them in the kingdom. I mean, music is music. A lot of them were godless. They did drugs to cope with life. They sought religious experiences through mysticism and TM and God knows what. That's a fact. Most musicians are godless. They really are. We may benefit from their music, but they were lost souls. Keyboard warriors are totally on the rise. Thank you, Princess. You're awesome. I love you. Jess, absolutely. Absolutely. I got tired of saying can't do this, can't do that, and I wasn't even doing anything outlandish. I'd love to have the privilege, but it's never going to happen, to sit down with my mom and say, let me tell you what I've been through since I left you. I far exceeded you in dealing with children. I have more years of experience than you do. Yeah, you have grandchildren, I get all that, but you didn't drive a bus where you're hated by all. You didn't drive a bus where you were that ethnicity that was tarred and feathered as being all of the blame for all of black social woes. Girl, you couldn't deal with the kind of children I've dealt with. You think I was bad? Girl, I was tame. I was just a hyper kid, and you did not know how to show love, and you didn't know how to direct me. My school counselor directed me to cross country, not you. I shoveled snow, stacked and split wood. You treated me like I was an inconvenience over and over again. You like to make it look good in front of everybody, but when everybody was gone, you were nasty. Living to please people is a foolish endeavor. That doesn't mean we should be tacky and rude and insensitive to people's feelings. But just because I do something in my personal life that's offensive to somebody, now the Bible has a lot to say. If what I do is a stumbling block to somebody, I'm to put it away. Well, guess what? In this day and age, anything I do or say or wear is a stumbling block. So do I chain myself to a wall and say I can't do or say anything? Somebody might get offended. Sometimes you just have to say, well, you need to learn to deal with it and get your big boy pants on. You don't like it, you don't like it, that's okay. But it isn't causing you to sin. That's the thing. If I'm out there hooking up with prostitutes and telling everybody that that's a godly thing, yeah, I'm wrong. Hooking up with prostitutes is just skankster. It's just totally skankster and gross. I know. I had an experience with a couple prostitutes in Spokane many years ago and fulfilled the lust of the flesh with that just out of curiosity. I'll never do it again. They're sad women. They reduce you to a loaf of bread. The prostitute reduces you to a loaf of bread, the Bible says. It's true. And a lot of prostitutes look good from a distance, but when you get up close, not so. Wow, Franny. Did you, Paul? Jess, I wrote a letter in my 30s. I've had no contact for a long time. We can't. My mother's not going to talk to me, and I don't want to talk to her. She was abusive. She never said, I'm sorry. She'd never, it's not about bitterness. It's like taking two gears and they're just going to go, I've tried to do everything I could to be pleasing in her sight. I'm done. Her husband died a year ago. I can't believe she's lived as long as she did with all that smoking. It's amazing. Some of the not so beautiful people seem to live forever and ever and ever. There was something posted on YouTube yesterday that I reposted on mine. Nancy Pelosi's not seeking re-election. Oh, you gotta be kidding. Finally? Finally? Good riddance, girl. You should have quit 50 years ago. You think you've done good. Now, that's another thing. These people in office think that they're doing good. The hell they're not. My mother would do a clinical diagnosis on her sister who was bipolar. She did a clinical diagnosis on my dad's sister who was bipolar. And she tried to do it with me and Jana and my sister and anybody she was against. My ex-wife even called it Flavor of the Month Club. Said, your mother has to be at odds with somebody. And then when I divorced my wife, she runs and makes friends with my mother and lies about me. I mean, it's just amazing. Evil women are evil women, and it's just amazing the depth of depravity among women. They gang up against you, lie about you, character assassinate, and that's okay. That's wrong. You don't like me? That's fine. Trolls are interesting because they're projecting constantly. They're saying everything about me that's true of themselves. And that's a no-brainer. People that spend time being mean and hateful on the internet are projecting themselves clearly. Our pastor was talking about the fool in Sunday school. It said that fools enjoy being foolish. And you see that. It's very, very self-evident. And it says, do not engage with a fool. Turn him over to God and let God deal with the fool. Wise advice. I wish I'd have paid heed to that years ago. I know, Neeks, but I love it that you come in. You're awesome. Oh, Franny, that had to be rough. Yeah, Jess, I cut her off. She can reach me. My ex still is in cahoots with her, as well as my son, which that whole thing is its own dysfunctional express. Too ridiculous to talk about over and over. These people, it's crazy. She drives me crazy. Oh, yeah. I gotta get ready, folks. And face the day again. I gotta pull on my big boy pants. Neeks, you need to come down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right. Come on down. And the crowd claps and everybody cheers. I'd like to spin that wheel for $100, please. I'd like to spin Neek's wheel. I'm so bad. So bad. I'm just a flirt. That's what happens when you're lonely. Are you lonely tonight? Neeks is laughing. Hello, Johan. You know, if you've ever read the story of Madeline Murray O'Hare, she was the Baltimore mother that single-handedly got God thrown out of the public school system, 10 Commandments and all that. Her son grew up under her wrath, and her son actually wrote a book. He got saved. Nobody even knows what happened to Madeline Murray O'Hara. She's gone. Don't know if she was murdered or what the story was, but you know, when you fight against God all of your life, it's not going to go in your best interest. Just saying. I have to go, folks. It's been nice to see you all. And yeah, Johanna, that's funny. I used to too, though, and I realized they do that to get bigger tips. How you doing, sweetheart? They drag their hand gently across your shoulder. I love your hair, Michael. You're not getting $80 tip. Oh, well, F you. Here's your grits, and you can kiss those too. It was a bartender that told me that. She said bartenders and waitresses are nice to get more money. They make you think they're going to go home with you even though they're not. I did not realize that all the years of my life, folks. That's how I was a little bit slow. I was very naive, and it's amazing how we can be blindsided. Man, Jess, I read your thing real fast. I thought he said thank you, Tranny, for being white. My bad. I thought you said thank you, Tranny. Can you imagine getting a bumper sticker, thank a tranny? Oh boy. No! I'm not thanking no tranny. 2 minutes. All right, folks, y'all have a good day. And good to see you all. Yes, but you know what? And that's why American business people are nice. And that's what's sad. You'll get more friendliness in a store than you will on the streets because they have to be nice. You're paid to be nice. And I told a woman I was dating years ago, I was 27, she was 47, talk about a cougar. She was from Long Island, New York, moved to Duluth, Minnesota, and her name was Marjorie, and she'd always say, hi, Michael, you want to have some coffee? And we got intimate. But she and I were talking about New York, and we were talking about consumerism, and she was not a God-fearing woman. She laughed at my faith. I said, oh, but you have no problem dating you. Of course not. You're a beautiful man, but I don't agree with this God thing. And she and I both agreed that business is so insincere. You got these hokey-dokey commercials out here with the Southern twanginess, and at Plunkett Heating and AC, we care about your family and your heating and cooling. No, you care about the money you make. Stop the lies. There are people that are good at what they do, but business is not motivated by love for people. It's motivated by a paycheck. And I get so tired of that. Spin doctors. All right, you guys. You know what, and Franny, that's good. I like what you said. I gotta find peace with that somehow myself. All right, folks. Till next time, hang in there, be safe, and thanks for coming in.